What's up, everybody? Brothers, sisters, psychonauts, and seekers of truth. It is Ananka, and welcome to my bazaar. Today, I have an Amanita Muscaria trip report for you. The title of this trip report is Uncovering the Self with the Ancient Soma, and was submitted to Erowid in 2007 by the user Shakti's Disciple. With all that being said, let our story begin. This was my third experience with fly agaric. After two less successful encounters, using 1 gram and 1.5 grams of 10x extract respectively. Those experiences were rather disappointing, at best being slightly hypnotic. I had come to the conclusion that for a more intense trip, I would need over 20 grams of dried mushroom material. I obtained 2 X25 gram packs of dried extract from a shop about 300 yards from where I live. I decided to take the mushroom one Sunday in December 2005. Contextual factors that may have influenced the trip. The previous day, I had gone for an intense 55-mile cycle ride. This would have increased levels of serotonin and endorphins. I had ingested some vegetarian pizza the night before. First of all, I ground the dried mushroom material using a blender, which reduced it to a coarse powder. I then mixed it with canned mushroom soup, which I heated on the top. The mixture had the texture of porridge and the color of butterscotch whip. I quickly consumed it from a large soup bowl. Luckily, it was of pleasant taste, mushroom soup with a bit more intense flavor. I took the mushrooms at 1200 hours GMT. After consuming the mixture, I listened to some music, Rammstein and Clawfinger. About 45 minutes after taking the mushrooms, I began to feel drowsy, typical of the coming up phase of taking fly agaric. I had been advised that when this occurs, it is best to lie down, as it is when the mushroom's iobotanic acid is converting. I went upstairs to lie in my bedroom and put on some more music. I felt a bit like when I take a psilocybin mushroom with an MAOI, such as passiflora, where drowsiness entails, which is followed by somatic symptoms, and then psychedelic experience. With fly agaric, I was experiencing some nausea, and whilst this was not too challenging or making me vomit, was more than my experiences with mescaline-containing cacti. A sort of loop-like experience was forming in my mind, a bit like a repetitious thought cycle, each lasting about 5 seconds. I was sweating profusely and feeling hot, yet chilled at the same time. Eventually, these thought loop-like experiences evolved into an intense spiritual state. It was like a complete ego-reducing out-of-body experience. I was experiencing the pure, spiritual self. A bit like a Shulgin +4 experience I had had with mescaline exactly a year previously. Time had slowed to almost nothing, and it seemed like a moment of actual time was like years of experience. I was moving into some sort of lucid dreaming, and it seemed like I was moving from lifetime to lifetime. This was reaffirming my belief in reincarnation and associated Hindu/neo-pagan concepts. I came to the conclusion that if the soul lives on beyond physical death, I would survive this experience and not move on to oblivion/nothingness. As with the psilocybin mushrooms, music playing seemed to have more meaning, and was easier to take in due to time passing more slowly. Physically, I could not feel myself, so it was an out-of-body experience, and I did go downstairs to change over the CD, though I did not feel any physical exertion of running back upstairs. At about 1830 hours GMT, I had peaked, and the trip was starting to become less intense. I went downstairs and rung one of my friends to tell them about the experience. I went back upstairs. Experiences were similar but less intense, about a Shulgin +3. I was listening to music such as 9 Inch Nails and Dio. It seemed a bit like the music was stopping and starting, though it wasn't. By 2230 hours GMT, the trip had downgraded somewhat, and was a bit like the afterglow from an intense mescaline trip. I felt relaxed and very refreshed. I went to a local outlet to buy some fries with cheese. I went to bed at about 23:30 hours GMT. Still felt serene and refreshed. The next few days, I felt rather chilled out at work, and was not working as productively as usual. Libido was far lower, though came back with a vengeance 5 days later. In all, a life-changing, awe-inspiring experience. All right, everybody. That is the end of our story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one, fam. Doses.